What's good, people? It's your boy Dreamer back again. I apologize. I know I said I would get this video out probably about a week or so ago. I'm just trying to work everything out on my schedule to make sure I can bring you guys content on a regular basis. Anyways, this video is going to be mainly Doomfist on Volskaya here. I do switch to Soldier at I think the 17-minute mark. It's a little long video, but I'm gonna do it a little different this time. Where normally it'll be more tips and tricks. I think this time I'm gonna do it just to kind of see how it goes. This time I'm gonna do it, and I'll kind of take you through my thought process throughout the game, like what I was thinking, what I was trying to do, what worked out successfully, and what didn't. So just in case you guys haven't checked out this LFG feature, this joint is life. This LFG feature is the best thing that's ever happened to Overwatch yet to date. What I really enjoy about it is you get a whole bunch of people with the same mindset in terms of, like, a team that I look for is just people who are looking to play together and win. I know you can enforce roles. I never enforce roles, just for the simple fact that sometimes you do need to be flexible and change some comps up. So as you can see, we're running Doomfist, Orisa, Mercy, Ana, Soldier, and I want to say Reinhardt, but we'll see here. So it's a double main tank, so not always ideal. Usually you want to run a main tank and an off tank. But here, let's kind of go through this thought process. I like this position on top of this building here on Volskaya, because I can turn around and I can see flankers going along the backside, and at the same time I can jump down to the choke and support them when needed. So we're running Orisa and Hog, so not Orisa Reinhardt here. So I just called it out, looking out for a Pharah, having Soldier keep an eye out. I jump down to the low ground. Anytime I see Ryan approaching the choke, I always want to bully him. So as soon as I saw him, I jumped down there, and I didn't want him to gain any ground, so I made sure to give him a nice rocket punch. He had to have taken enough damage to where I hit him on the wall. And I see Genji on the backside here. So what I'm thinking right now is I just want to keep eyes on Genji, but I want to maintain my position. So at the same time, I can defend everything at the choke. Catch the Diva. So Diva is flanking with Genji right now. And I use my abilities because pretty much if you can land a good combo of your abilities and get Diva out of mech, you can pretty much take her whole health pool down. So I see Mercy on point. She's by herself. I want to rocket punch and seismic slammer. Missed her a couple times. She kind of slipped away from me. And then I rocket punched too early. But they switched to a Brigitte now. So now when I play Doomfist, especially in Season 10 and Season 11, like, it is 100% I take it as my job to punish the Brigitte. And anytime a team wants to run a Brigitte, I focus on bullying her around so she can't, stun and bully all of my teammates. And so I call out to my team because their comp is kind of wonky. They're running like flankers, and at the same time half of their team is like a slow push with an Orisa and a Brigitte. So I don't fully understand that, but every time that I can maintain this high position here, I want to do that. I see Tracer in the back line. I also see Mercy, so I want to make sure I punish the Mercy. Get the Tracer too. Every time I see somebody coming in the back line, I always want to jump back up here, so like I said, I can see the backside and I can see everything else. Genji's kind of trying to tickle me from the backside here, so I want to go try and catch him. Unfortunately, that beam got in my way, a kill I probably should have had. If he would have wall climbed there, we'd have been alright. But that's why I like this up top position, because it gives me the ability to see all of this stuff. And I didn't want to rocket punch at that moment, because if I do miss that rocket punch on the Genji, I fly off the edge and I don't have any other abilities to support me or get me back on.
Is there any chance we could get a res on that Soldier?
So my team is holding okay up front. I think I probably should have, at that point in time, stuck with my team more. I ulted here and I see the Brigitte's ulting. I ult way too early. I don't get behind her, so the shield blocks most of the damage. I probably shouldn't have ulted at that point in time, but I was thinking, hey, the Brigitte just ulted. If I can kill the Brigitte, then I can possibly save the point with a couple other abilities, and my teammates can trickle along and we can get back to it. But I missed the meteor strike on the Brigitte, so that really hurt us, and now we're down in extra ultimate because I didn't make a very smart decision. But their Brigitte's overextended here, so I want to take complete advantage of that. And there's nowhere she could really go at that point. I already had seismic slammer. I already had I missed my uppercut, but at the same time, that's enough damage to where if I would have seismic or if I would have rocket punched her, she would have died. That Genji lived through that rocket punch right there simply because the Brigitte gave him armor previously, and at that point, you know, I tried to escape with the rocket punch, but I wasn't able to escape because I hit the Brigitte with my punch, so it stopped my momentum. It's unfortunate.
The Brigitte came through.
So right here, I see Tracer top side, so I want to keep eyes on her. And what I'm thinking right now is I don't want to jump into the grab because we already have one on point, but I want to do my job, come on, get a pick or two, and try and stabilize the point. Ana gives me the nano boost. It kind of sucks because I was out of abilities at that point and I have no real heals. I did get a full rocket punch on the Tracer though, and at full damage with the nano boost, I was able to kill her. So I did do my job, got a couple picks there. So I'm hoping that we can stabilize the point. I want to get back out there as fast as possible right now though. I'll usually only use rocket punch. I want to only use rocket punch so I can save my slam and uppercut for when I actually get on the point. The uppercut is good to knock Brigitte off point. I'm probably going to ult here, yep, and I do end up ulting here just because I want to make sure. I wanted to make sure that we got some value out of this, and we do need picks because we haven't fully stabilized yet. I went for the Mercy just because I knew she was a main target and a key target in terms of winning this fight and being able to trickle on and hold the point. I killed the Mercy. Unfortunate enough, I should have rocket punched the. I knew I was going to die. I wasn't getting enough healing. I should have rocket punched the Orisa or her supercharger there. And as you can see, we weren't able to stabilize this point. I'm just trying to jump on at this point, do enough damage. Zarya solo grabs me, so there's nothing really I can do about that. A decent hold, not great. We got 3 minutes left on the clock.
How much time did I get?
So at this point, I just want to, you know, I'm communicating with my teammates. I want to make sure we're all on the same page going into, you know, this second round because we do need to cap both points. We can't get full held. So I just want to communicate, make sure the team morale is up, make sure that we're all doing whatever we need to do. And with the LFG feature, this is huge because a lot of times in a group of 6, like all the games are going to be closer because the other team's going to be in a 6 stack as well. And it just makes for really good Overwatch. Some people don't like it because I think it adds a little more stress and a little more competition. But the thing you got to watch is just people can tilt very easily in these 6 stacks. So you want to make sure at all times, you know, that you're keeping everybody's morale up, you're communicating with your team, and this team's pretty easy to work with. We don't have a lot of people who are tilting off the handle right away, so that's pretty important in terms of us doing what we want to do here.
Just play whatever you're comfortable with.
I'll play fair. If they have hit scan, I can.
So we're running Doomfist, Reinhardt, Brigitte, Moira, Pharah, and Zarya right now. The Pharah, I think, is a good pick in principle, but she's hardly going to get any heals from the Moira and from the Brigitte, so the Pharah in this situation is going to have to play pretty smart. I'm going to flank a little bit, but what I'm really going to focus on is sticking with the Ryan and the Brigitte and kind of bullying space, so Ryan and Brigitte can take it up and be aggressive in that sense. At least that's what I'm thinking of doing right now with the comp that we're running. I gotta admit, guys, I haven't watched these games back, and so these are my first time watching these games as well. I usually just clip them because I think they're a good game and something that we can all learn from together. But I haven't seen all of this, so
that's fucking dumb.
what I was trying to do there is I was trying to, you know, just only use my uppercut to get on top of that building. Wasn't sure if I would be able to do that, but.
Bridget on top of the thing.
Yeah. Fake the rocket punch. Right here, I'm just kind of looking for an opening. I do see the Mercy. Wasn't able to get her because she flew away, but I did get her because she luckily landed right back in front of me. So that's a huge pick. We're 5 on 6. They have no Mercy right now. So my health was low. What I wanted to do is I was getting some heals, but what I wanted to do there was I had already done my damage. I didn't want to do too much. I was already 84 health, so what was important at that point was just making sure I got out of the way. So I used my uppercut and my rocket punch in order to get on the high ground there. And Volskaya is a really good map for Doomfist in this sense, where you can use your uppercut, you can use your rocket punch and seismic slam to get up and take a lot of high ground in advantageous positions to really put yourself in a good position to do a lot of damage and to take the high ground away from the other team. So Zarya sees me here, but I don't want to engage until my tanks and everything are engaged at this point. I do see the Orisa. And at this point with that rocket punch, I was trying to knock the Zarya off the edge. I went behind her and she's not paying much attention to me. They do have a Bastion up top, so I have to be very careful here. got the
Zarya
Zarya
down.
because I knew she was low health. I wanted to focus her because if she's able to stay alive and do everything like that on the point, we're going to be in real
Someone
trouble.
go up there and take him out.
So at this point, we're already capping the point. So what I'm going to do is I'm pretty much going to run to the enemy spawn, and I'm looking to spawn camp here. Bully the Brigitte, you know, stall, uppercut, whatever I have to do here. And I know they have to go to the point, so that's why I deployed a meteor strike, you know, right with them running to the point. But at that point, if I wouldn't have done that, I don't know, they probably would have made it back to spawn in time. And who knows, maybe Brigitte had rally, and maybe she would have rallied, sped on the point, and they could have flipped that fight. So that was the whole big point of me going to their spawn and pretty much spawn camping or trying to stall. I definitely wouldn't have done that if I didn't have meteor strike. But since I did have meteor strike, I knew it was kind of like my get out of jail free card. So I was able to punch, you know, use my abilities, stall some time, and then use the meteor strike to throw down some extra damage and to try and get that pick, so we have the advantage when they're trying to trickle on to the point. So it ended up working in our favor on that time. And you can cover so much ground as Doomfist. Like he's great for 2 CP maps because all of the brawls, I'm not gonna say he's great on every 2 CP map. He's better on some than others. I think Volskaya is one of his better 2 CP maps. I think Temple of Anubis is one of his worst ones. But all the brawls have to happen on point for the most part, or most of them do anyways. That's where they end up happening. So with most of the brawls happening on point, there's no better character than Doomfist in people when people have to fight in an enclosed space or something like that, or in a restricted area. On top of that, you know, Doomfist is very quick at getting back to the point, and some 2 CP maps when you have a longer spawn. So he's definitely my choice here. I see the Rhine and the choke, so and I see the Sombra back line.
Yeah. Nice
So I
pick.
punched her, and I was able to punch her off the.
That was stupid.
They're running a Doomfist now too, obviously, because I've had
Nice pick.
success through the last couple rounds. So they're trying to see if they can't duplicate that same success. I get a little greedy here, trying to get the Doomfist. Thank God he's a bot. I could have gone for the soldier there and tried to knock the soldier off of the edge. But again, it was just a play that was a little too greedy, so I would rather get back with my team because we had already stabilized, we had already won that fight. I just want to make sure we don't give up this point here. That's the biggest thing for me. So Ryan's trying to come through the choke again, so I drop down just so I can bully him. He does get bubbled, but it was late, so he took the brunt of the damage before he got bubbled. Missed the rocket punch there. But at this point, I'm not going to overcommit. I get a nice bubble, and I get a nice armor pack from the Brigitte. But at this point, I'm literally just trying to keep the Ryan from pushing on point. He does get a pin, but we were able to, he pinned the Zarya, and so Zarya had bubble, so we were able to withstand that. Our Brigitte is rallying right now. Tried to get the Mercy. I didn't jump nearly far enough. But with the rally and the Transcendence, we were able to hold. I'm not sure we needed both ultimates, but we were able to hop on enough.
Yeah, but it would have wasted it.
Yep, stagger the Zarya, so that's what we wanted to do. I'm going to jump right back up here, get right back on the high ground. I do have Meteor Strike, and we have Soldier Visor here as well. I don't know why I jumped off of the high ground there. I must have just fallen off. But this high ground is the best position for Doomfist, I think. Because if you really wanted to, you could also uppercut, and you can use your rocket punch to kind of propel yourself off the top of that building, that archway, kind of go over the top, and then you can come down for a big seismic slam at full damage and probably get an easy pick as well. And since I have Meteor Strike, it's still a very safe option for me to try and make one of those Reddit plays like that. So I wanted to bully the Ryan again. I used Meteor Strike because my Zarya used grab, but I deployed it way too soon. The Zarya had a bubble, and she bubbled one of her teammates, and it was just. If I would have waited on that, Meteor Strike, I would have been able to get at least 2 picks, and we would have been able to hold this because there's only 30 seconds left. Because I didn't, their Zarya has grab now. She's high charged. They grabbed us. They whole hogged us, and we're gonna end up losing this fight. Yep. Yep. So that was 100% my mistake. I communicated with Zarya beforehand. I said, hey, you know, let's do the Space Jam, the Graviton, and the Meteor Strike. But
they used a good hunk of ult,
man, I just wasn't smart about it. If I would have waited until the bubbles wore off, they still would have been stuck in the grab. I would have been able to do a lot more damage, and we would have been so much better off in that situation. But nothing we can do now. All we got to do is regroup and hold this second point here. They do only have 30 seconds since they ran out of time. So we want to make sure that we get a good pick here. The hog came in way too early.
Yep, there's Ryan with his chatter.
And Soldier's up top on the high ground right now. Ryan went back line. I was able to kill the hog even though they killed our Moira. I do have Meteor Strike back. I'm looking for one of the supports and everything right now. I know Zarya's got high energy, so she's got to go. So I wanted to focus her. Yeah, at that point on 2 CP, if you can get one pick, I mean that swings the fight so much in your favor. The Lucio did use sound barrier there, so obviously that's why he was able to survive that rocket punch. He was just trying to stall. There's not much he could have done, but I was actually trying to punch him before he deployed his sound barrier, just because that would stun him out of sound barrier and he wouldn't get that luxury. But either way, I mean, we were able to do enough damage to him right away where he wasn't able to do his little frog things and jump around the point like that. So like I said, I do know, I did check because I wanted to let you guys know if you came here for the Doomfist gameplay, I do switch to Doomfist at the 17 minute and a half mark, just because they're running a comp that they're running a Pharah and we have no counter for the Pharah. Obviously, you guys see we're running Moira, Pharah, Zarya right now, and the Pharah was causing a lot of problems for us, I remember. And so I needed to switch. So I do end up going Soldier. So if you guys want to learn some things about Soldier and go through my mindset in terms of, you know, playing Soldier, great. If not, I hope you've learned something so far from what I think in these situations and how my brain works in terms of wanting to win these games playing Doomfist, especially on this Volskaya map here. Yeah, so we're running Brigitte, we're running Moira, Reinhardt, Pharah, and Zarya here, along with me is Doomfist.
Alrighty.
So this time I know what I need to do to get on the high ground. I don't mess up and just solely try and uppercut here. So I want to be on this high ground here because I'm on this high ground. If I can get a good seismic slam, it'll be an easy pick. Pharah's being damage boosted in the sky. She kills me pretty quick. I know we don't have a counter for the Pharah, so I switched to Soldier right away. Here's one of those things, guys. It's like Doomfist is one of my best characters, so obviously I'm gonna continue to play Doomfist. But at the same time, like, we do need a counter for the Pharah. Even though my aim is very rusty when I first switch onto this Pharah, my tracking is a little suspect.
I'm trying to.
But aside from that, I knew we needed the counter for the Pharah, otherwise she's just gonna run free, and I didn't want to try and force it with the Doomfist here. So obviously I picked the Pharah. I'm kind of staying in the background. I missed the Helix rocket on the Mercy. Unfortunately, I wasn't quick enough. But I mean, at the same time, I forced Mercy to use res. We're kind of losing that fight right now, so all I'm really trying to do right now is stay in a safe position and not do too much. Get some ult charge, kind of continue to put pressure on the Pharah. We're coming in with rally this time. Pharah's above us, so I really want to address that. And she's got no full mercy pocket right now, so I really have to take advantage. Almost died to a Mei Icicle, but it's one of those things now where they've invested the Mei ult into the fight. I want to focus the Pharah because she's got to go, and the Mercy's using Valkyrie.
We had people running in when they had Brigitte behind us.
So at this point we just really need to regroup because we've already lost a couple people right now. I almost killed the Pharah. She was about one tap. The Mercy probably could have rezzed anyway. But I want to stay back line. I want to stay safe. I want to build ult charge because I know they have Valkyrie. So right now I'm going to be looking to demech the D.Va so I can use this visor and pretty much take the whole first point here. I saw the Orisa was low, tried to give her a Helix rocket just to kind of burst her down. Get unlucky, Pharah catches me in close space and catches me with an early rocket going into the right side. Moira invests her ult, which I don't think is smart in this situation. We're down 2, we did kill the Mercy, now we're down 3. They've lost both supports though, so there is a chance of us winning this fight, so I'm trying to rush back to point here. to hopefully get some high ground.
You're serious?
Fars just killed 2 more.
Sorry.
So that fight is
keeps dying
completely
that
over. I
far.
would be the only person on point right now, so there's no point in me engaging. So I quickly try and run back, because if they were to stagger me at that point, then my team would have had to wait for me to come from spawn there, and if they have to wait for me to come from spawn, that's just more time that we would burn off the clock. I mean, we did have 6 minutes going into this point. I think it says it's pushing with 3:20 right now, so we've already lost 3 minutes in trying to take this first point on this team's defense. We've had really staggered pushes, so I'm trying to communicate with my team like, hey, I got visor. Let's just get a good team push here, so we can do what we need to do and get this point. Because right now we've had a lot of staggered pushes, which haven't really gone to our advantage, obviously. I took an unlucky icicle from May, but it's kind of my fault. We were 3 in the doorway there. They could just really spam the doorway with May icicles and fire rockets. I'm pretty sure we're gonna lose this fight too. We just lost the Zen. We just lost the Rhyme. So again, I'm trying to get my team to rally around, to group up. It's crazy because if we would have only had 4 minutes, we would have lost this game 3-2 already. But I guess since we had 6 minutes, people were just kind of impatient, figured we had enough time to make a lot of mistakes. So people are kind of carefree in that sense. That May is putting a lot of pressure on us here, but I do have visor, and I've saved it this whole time. And even though they've had some ults, I see the Brigitte's low. I have to get out of that. I have to get out of that blizzard. I'm kind of stuck right here. I went out of there, so I took off on the Brigitte because I knew I'm fast enough and she couldn't chase me. But at the same time, like I said, I'm kind of in a bad position here. I do end up getting back to my team. So at that point, I wasn't trying to duel the Brigitte. I wasn't trying to duel the... Oh man, I missed the Helix rocket there. Thank God my teammate came to help me out. But at that point, I wasn't trying to duel anybody. Luckily, the health pack was there as well when the Diva dove me. But I wasn't trying to duel anybody there just because that wasn't what I needed to do. The Brigitte ends up using ult and stunning me. We should still win this fight though. We do have a huge advantage. I wasn't able to get the Pharah. Zen uses trance here, so what I'm doing, I switched to the cam where I could watch my teammates. If you guys have kill cam, leave it on because you can switch to your teammates and communicate important information. So, I mean, if you guys have that advantage here, like I always encourage you to do so because you can communicate important information. I use visor here in a stupid position because we had already lost the fight. My teammates are coming from spawn. I use visor, so I wasted it here. It's not very good soldier gameplay right now. I'm just not making smart decisions. I've held on to it for a long time. I'm trying to tell the Zarya to get out if she can, just so we can kind of regroup with our team. Because if we got staggered there, there's only 40 seconds. If we got staggered there, it's game over. I get picked by a May Icicle. It's super unlucky. It was bad positioning by me in a sense that my team wasn't there. And there was no real point in me pushing up like that aside from trying to get some ult charge. So now we're a man down. We do get the kill on the Brigitte, so we get kind of lucky in that sense. But we're rallying around our Brigitte right now, trying to get some extra armor, get everything. Diva throws a bomb in. And we grab on the opposite side. So right now I want to put pressure on the Pharah. I want to put pressure on the Mercy. Junkrat gets Pharah with a mine, so pretty much does my job for me here. I'm gonna jump on point here because and I hit the Mercy with a nice Helix rocket, so that was probably the first good soldier play I've made to date here. I didn't think we needed the trance because we had already won that fight, but at the same time I guess Zen wanted to make sure. There's no point not making sure at this point here, because if you do lose this fight, like the game's over and we lose the game. So. And I'm communicating to my team. I'm at 75% on visor, so if I can get there for next fight, their Pharah is overextended right now, and she drops when the Mercy comes and tries to heal her. So we have the Mercy out in the open. We kill the Mercy. It's a huge pick, and I have 95% on visor. So I'm telling my team I got visor here. I want to get to the high ground because that's going to put me in the best position in order to take advantage of this visor since they're already down the Mercy. Trying to put pressure on the May and everything right now. I wanted to stay on the high ground, but I wanted to drop down low. I see the Pharah, and I know she can't escape. I see the squishies as well as the Diva getting D-mech'd and low, so I pop the visor knowing I can be aggressive with this. And we do end up, you know, capping the point here. So, in terms of a game, the other team almost capped. I mean, they didn't almost cap second point, but they capped first point. They capped first point and got all the way to second point in 3 minutes, and we had 6 minutes and almost didn't make it past on a 6-minute hold. But the most important thing in those situations is to maintain your composure and keep playing with your team, keep communicating, because that's how you that puts you in the best position to win the game there.
Yeah.
Good shit, boys.
Mm-hmm.